Welcome, Rio, where life beats strong in every corner. Today I step into the Babilônia Favela, one of the city's vibrant, unfiltered communities. You'll see the streets alive with stories and hear the sounds of daily struggle and hope. Along the way, I meet Eddie, my guide, my window into a world that many will never see. For the true story of the favela, check out this episode of Escape the Ordinary. They say that travel heals and awakens the spirit. On my quests, I find and share stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things in interesting places. My name is Gibbs, and I travel for culture. In Copacabana, Babilônia Hill rises as an entirely different world. Today, I'm here to learn about favelas, these hidden raw parts of Rio's soul. And I've got my guy Eddie here with me, and no doubt he is the key to understanding what life really looks like here.
Hi everyone, it's Gibbs with iTravel for Culture. I'm here with my main man Eddie. We're going to explore the favelas. It's not a favela tour. Which favela are we going to today, Eddie?
Hello everyone.
Yeah.
Hello Gibbs, welcome. So we're gonna visit a favela called Babilônia. Okay. Babilônia is where the favela where I born, where I live.
Yeah.
First, I do not consider favela tour. I consider favela like experience walk.
Yeah.
Tour is places like Christ Redeemer, Sugarloaf.
Exactly. We don't like to use that word
No.
tour. We're exploring. We're exploring our extended family. So it's not a tour.
It's not a tour.
We're engaging family. This is what we are. Now, but you've got a lot of favelas in Rio.
We have in Brazil close to 11,000 favelas. About 90% of the population in Brazil lives in favela. It's 16.7 million. And that's the thing. When we talk about favela, we're not talking just about the neighborhood. We're talking about a side culture. When you see the history is not just one line of narrative. It's ramification, things connected.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of things connection.
Exactly. I'm telling you, this is perhaps the most, we've been in Rio for a few days, and this is perhaps the thing that I've been looking forward to the most. And that's just being able to meet you, because you're from this favela, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to have a real conversation and a real experience, eat some of the food. Yeah, I don't even spoil it. Yeah. Eat some of the food, talk to some of the people. I'm ready. You ready to do this? Let's go.
So let's do the most immersive experience. Let's do it.
Favelas are more than just neighborhoods. They're a side culture, a lifeline carved into the hillside. Tiny streets so narrow that cars can barely squeeze through. And as I walk with Eddie, he breaks it all down for me. That a favela isn't just a place to live. It's a place where the rules are actually bent. Homes built without land titles, limited access to services like water and electricity and healthcare. And Eddie will explain exactly why they exist and how favelas were born from decades of inequality, a cycle of survival that's really become a tradition. These communities, well, they aren't just a mistake. They're a statement of resilience and culture.
Why we have favelas? We had a civil war in Brazil, where the Brazilian army needed soldiers to fight their war. Okay, what we have, they had to go to places like black neighborhoods to call soldiers to fight their war. And they said, okay, my friends, go to fight their war. When you come back, you will get paid to buy your house. 1888, we had the end of slavery in Brazil. 1889, the end of the monarchy. 1893, that's civil war. Black people, even with the end of slavery in Brazil, we had laws prohibiting black people to do things like jobs, salaries, their culture, religion, everything was forbidden to them. So they have to accept what the society offered to them. So the war become one of the biggest solutions for them to make money and have their house. They went to the war. 1897, the war ended. Soldiers returned, but nobody got paid. When they returned to their neighborhood in center of Rio, we call that place Little Africa. The mayor saw the houses empty. What he did, he just wiped out the houses to expand the center of Rio de Janeiro. When the black people come back, no money, go back to their neighborhoods. Where is my house? They couldn't claim their house because black people was forbidden to have land documents. What's the solution?
So what do you do?
Build a house in the hills. That's what they did. And the first community made in Brazil had the name favela. For example, what is in favela? Samba. So you come to see the carnival where the main music is samba. Samba is a favela music. So you come to see a favela culture. So when you see the carnival parade, every samba school represents one favela. So you come to see a favela show.
Yeah. I never realized that. I never realized, because people talk about Carnival all the time, but I never realized that we were actually looking at the representation of all 793 favelas?
Yes.
The representation of all 793 favelas. I never realized that. And
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that either.
No, because it's quite to say, I don't know if it happened that in the United States, but black history in Brazil was hidden.
Eddie and I talk about the history and how black stories in the United States have been buried, rewritten, and erased. It's the same here in Brazil. We see the mosaics on the walls, art that echoes culture and pain and pride, and the houses. The houses with the limited services, they all tell a story of a land without deeds and of a community holding on tight. We walk, we talk, and the streets continue to whisper their truths.
Where are we right now in the favela?
Right now we are in the center of Babylon.
Okay.
The center of Babilônia. That's the favela where I live. Okay, right now we have the Atlantic Ocean, or better, Copacabana. Okay, down here we have Copacabana. But when you're gonna get high, you're gonna see much more. Now we're in the center of the favela.
I don't think people realize just how close this favela is. Well, this favela is Copacabana, right?
It's Copacabana.
It is. There's no distinction.
No
This is where we are. But I would imagine that during some of the high times of the year, like Carnival and also with New Year's, I would imagine that people would want to rent some of these areas from some of the local owners, right? You could get a nice, pretty penny for the
Yeah, we
rental,
have
right?
some houses. When you have a chance to visit the rooftop, they have a stunning view.
Yeah.
Especially from one side of the hill here in this favela, you can see Copacabana Beach and Christ the Redeemer.
Here's the interesting thing. You've been taking me around all day on this tour, right? Everybody that I talk to, they're welcoming, they're dapping me up, you know, they're giving me love, a lot of love to my entire team.
Yeah.
But what do you want people to know about the favela? Because I sense the neighborhood feel of this favela and how people know each other. There's so many misconceptions about the favelas in general. What do you want people to know about favela life?
It's much more easier to talk about someone else using stereotypes. So it's much more easier. And using stereotypes, you don't need to have empathy, you don't need to have more deep knowledge about the territory. So my invitation for people when they come to favela is, let's see what is behind of the stereotype, to see the true people, what we do, what we are doing to avoid the stereotype problems.
We keep walking and we keep talking, and Eddie points to the blue reservoirs perched atop the buildings. It's a life water source, a fragile lifeline. And at the end of the day, this is who lives here. It's families just like yours and mine. Moms, dads, kids, relatives, all trying to carve out a better life amid all of the chaos.
Got us to do a replanting project.
Okay.
And he is one of the favelas, so still working, okay? But we don't have any more financial support from the government. Who is giving the support for this project? Tourism. Part of the money the tourist pays for this tour goes to this project. What we're doing with this money, we are forming new tour guides.
As Eddie and I climb higher into the favelas, the view expands, but so does the weight of what's beneath. It's not just the hills, nor is it about the homes, but it's about the people. their stories, their fight to survive, and find hope in the shadows.
This is the bag necessary in favela, very essential favela, because here's the bags where we carry the material for house construction. This one has sand, some has stone. Why this is necessary? Because the streets are so small, so the trucks, cars cannot bring this.
Yeah. Those are my questions. So how do we get them up here?
Here, because of this road, people use motorcycle to drop here. But later, you have to go through steps. That's why these bags are very good, because with these bags, you can put in your back.
Okay.
And walk.
So it's very much a manual process
Yes, a manual process for carrying.
Yeah, yeah.
We can say we carried our houses in the back.
On your backs. Yeah. So this electrical, like I understand that people are, it's all about helping people to build the house.
Yeah.
But you're pretty good at electrical and plumbing yourself.
Yes, I do.
My question is, what is this? What is this?
This is it's essential service. We have the electricity, we have the internet, we have the cable TV, all served by wire. So we have all mixed here. If you pay for the electricity, so if you have any problem in this area, you can call the electric company, they do the maintenance. But if you don't have,
Yeah.
you don't pay for the service, you have to do the maintenance by yourself.
You do it yourself.
Yeah.
How in the ham sandwich do you know which is yours? Because listen,
I have a technique.
you have a technique, but does everyone use the same technique? That's the question.
Not everyone uses the same technique. Here we have a lot of a mix. For example, this white wire, they represent the cable TV. This one here, and that box over there, internet.
Okay. Okay.
And all these mess up electricity. But how can I fix my problem? Normally, I use a floss. You know floss.
Yep.
I put the floss from my house. I go following until the closest point. Put the ladder and see what is my wire. Fix the problem. But when it's impossible, you just cut and wait. If someone is complaining, that's not yours. You just sorry, I was fixing
it's my
here.
house.
I'm just fixing here. Sorry.
Oh gosh, you hear that, guys? We cut and we wait. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know about the cut and wait thing. My neighbors might just get these hands. But we continue to climb higher and higher, and the view changes. And usually the higher that you go in these favelas, the poorer the people are. But lately, that's starting to shift. Some of that old inequality is slowly giving way, but where we are, it's very real.
So Eddie, we just came down a landing, and it seems that the steps ended.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of a home-built landing, and now we're in this area. Tell me about what that process was about.
This is favela. This is favela, okay? Because remember what I said in the beginning, the process to be called favela is not just a house in the hills. Today we have criteria to define favela.
Yep.
The first criteria, land document.
Yep.
If there is the place there is no land document, that is favela. That's the first criteria to define favela. Now the other criteria is that limitation of a public and essential services. More limited other services, that is the favela place. Here we have the limitation. We don't have urbanization. We don't have a sewage system, water distribution. The person has to catch from that well over there. Public illumination. This is the public illumination. So the electric company, they did install electricity in the people's house. So the people are forced to do illegal connection. So in here we have the real representation what is favela.
That makes sense.
So this favela, this part of the favela, it has no public structure to prevent landslides, to provide water, to provide electricity and sewage system. This is the favela.
This is the favela.
In a raw, natural way.
Yeah. Yeah. And would you say that there are families that have been living in this area for generations and generations?
What's the name of the neighborhood? Copacabana.
Copacabana.
We are in Copacabana.
Yeah.
This is the Copacabana, what people don't see.
Yeah.
What's the most famous Copacabana? the beach side, the hotel side, the famous restaurants. Not this.
Yeah.
This is Copacabana.
It's literally right there. It's
Yeah,
like
we
steps.
are in
It's like,
Copacabana.
yeah.
We are in Copacabana,
Yeah, but we don't see that.
but we
that
don't
side.
see it.
Yep.
And this is the part of this is what I like to say about favela. Because it's not because it's poor. Okay, this shows the favela. But the real favela is the people. If you can see the people, you see the true favela.
Yeah.
And the favela is colorful, it's beautiful, it's smiling people, welcome people. So all the experience we have to, since from the bottom until here, you didn't listen people offending you. You didn't people saying, asking for money. You just people say, hey, hello, welcome my friend.
Yep.
Enjoy. Because that's the real Brazil.
And that was my experience when I come. Everybody's been like, bom dia, like good morning, and like, hey, how are you doing? Who are you? Wanting to know my story, wanting to know more about me.
Because it's easy to say Brazil is a very welcome country.
Yeah.
But it's very specific to say, who are these welcome?
Yeah.
The welcome people is not in Copacabana.
Yeah.
It's in favelas.
Yeah, they're here.
Black neighborhood.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see if we can get some favela food. How about
Let's
that?
have
Let's.
Just question, do you like
go there.
seafood?
I love seafood.
So let's have some.
Let's go.
We head to a spot at the bottom of the favela called David's Star, named after the owner. We kick back, eat, and drink with the locals. And by the way, if you want the full scoop on Rio's food scene, you have to check out our Rio food video. But it's just fun hanging out with the locals. They make us feel like family, warm and unpretentious. This place is great. Just before we wrap up, Eddie has one more thing for me to see. We head back up Babilônia Hill and we start talking about samba and carnival. And Eddie, in classic fashion, begins schooling me on the history and soul behind it all.
So Eddie, I've been meaning to ask you, so Carnival makes billions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
And now that I know that of the 793 favelas who are the ones that participate in the Carnival, they make Carnival what it is, right? How much of that money goes back into the favelas?
With the money made by the Carnival, keep the clinic operating, school, other services. But the focus is Carnival because that is a business. It's not just a party, but gives a lot of jobs, opportunities, things like that. But in this favela here, we don't have like a big Carnival band. So we cannot claim for the money Carnival to this favela. Last year, we made $2.2 billion. Just $30 million investment, we had back $2 billion as a return. So it's a good investment. People inside of some schools are asking.
And that's my question.
Where's the money?
That's my question. The public perception of people who live in favelas.
No, we don't have the public perception, unfortunately, because you don't see the direct actions provided after the Carnival and say this is made by the Carnival money. It's including the government saying, oh, look, we're using the Carnival money to invest in this because they don't say it.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes people say where the money goes, go to private institutions, go to friends of the mayor, we create a lot of speculation. But the fact is, the main inventors of the samba, it is favelas.
Favelas, yeah.
Don't take any of that.
Yeah.
Directly, no money.
Yeah.
That's the point. But if you talk about services, some favela has services, some don't. My favela, we have the services, but we are in Copacabana.
Yeah.
If I was in a favela far from Copacabana, probably I won't have the services. See,
So-
that's the point.
So this is what we need to know. I'm standing here in the favela that's right next to Copacabana Beach, and Eddie has just been telling me all about the favela and its history, but I'm just taking a quick look at some of the views. I'm on the highest level right now, and there's a hostel actually within the favela where Eddie told me that they rent out for a whole lot less than what you would pay. and on New Year's Eve and at Carnival, you'll pay a whole lot less than what you'll pay at the Hilton or any of the hotels that's right on the beach, and you're just steps away. But this view is incredible. I can see like the Atlantic from here. I can see the hotels, and then if you pan to the hills at the very top of this mountain over here at the right, you will see Christ the Redeemer statue at the very top. I now have a new perspective of what favela life is, and I've been here since early this morning, eating, drinking with the the local drinks with the people, and just hanging out with the families. And it's a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood, and all neighborhoods have their own issues we know of, and we don't want to minimize the issues in the favelas, but I firmly believe that people are more similar than we are different. And so if we start with that premise, I think we will get a whole lot further. This is Gibbs for iTravel for Culture. Have a great day.